To clean your flute, you will need 3 different items. You'll need a cleaning rod that can either be wood, like this, or metal, like this. You'll also need a cleaning cloth to swab out the spit. You can either get a bandana, a small silk scarf like this, or a handkerchief. You'll also need a polishing cloth, and here are 2 examples. Both are softer than the swabbing cloth. They're polishing cloths, and they'll say on there specifically for polishing silver. This one is soft and this one's more suede-like. They usually have little triangular ridges on the side like that, and you don't want to use these to swab the spit out. You want to use the cleaning cloths. So we're going to take a cleaning rod, and in this case I'm going to use the handkerchief for the example, and take the corner and thread it through the cleaning rod. Just a little bit, and then flip the big section over to make sure that you're covering this hard part on the top. So you want that part covered. I usually gently twist it so that it's easier to get into the flute. I'll start with my head joint, again, grabbing from the bottom of the flute. Usually I'll do this with my left hand and grab it from the bottom. Stick that into the flute and gently twist to remove the moisture. And put that back in your case. You can then grab the body of the flute, again by the end, the opening of the tube on the neck, and not grabbing any keys or rods, and put it into the flute. In this one, you can gently twist and it should go all the way through. I usually have to stick my finger into the tube and remove it at the end. Sometimes I'll do this twice or 3 times depending on how much moisture is in there. Then I'll end with the foot joint, again grabbing from the end piece here so that you're not touching any of the keys or the rods. This one's usually the easiest, and just push through. This one generally doesn't have very much moisture at all. It's usually the head joint and the body. To polish your flute, if you have smudges or marks on it, what you can do, and always make sure you're grabbing from the end like this, is take your polishing cloth and in a circular motion, just gently touch it. You want to make sure that when you're cleaning this lip plate and the tone hole that you don't push really hard. You can gently remove the smudges, but you don't want to aggressively push down because it'll mess up that lip plate. This polishing cloth is also really good if you're having issues getting your flute together. If the joints at the end, if you're putting them together and they're really stuck, what you can do is make sure that the end is really clean here. And then the inside part of this is also very clean. You can kind of stick your finger in. Again, don't push any of the keys down, and in a twisting motion, you'll remove a lot of that gunk. And on the end of the body joint, you can also see this little segment, and again, twist that because a lot of buildup happens right there if you're having issues with your flute being put together. The same thing with the foot joint. You can clean this inside part right here by the little keys, again being very careful not to touch the keys, gently twisting in there, and your flute should be put together a little easier. You can also take the cleaning cloth, or the polishing cloth, excuse me, and polish your flute on the body gently, again only holding by these end parts, never pushing hard down on these keys. So you can just kind of do a gentle motion like this. Same thing with your foot joint. When you're done, make sure that you never keep the cleaning cloth or the polishing cloth in your case, because what happens is if you take all the moisture out of your flute, then you put the cloth in your flute on top and it's going to get the moisture everywhere. So what I would recommend, make sure that you put your cleaning rod in the case though. Usually there's a spot in the middle like this, or some have spots here on the edge. So what you're going to do, put the cleaning rod in the case, latch your case, and then fold in a long ways like this with your handkerchief or your polishing cloth, and just tie in a little knot. This way it'll dry on the outside of your case and not on the inside. You can also do the same thing with your polishing cloth. Sometimes I'd recommend maybe just bringing the cleaning cloth to school and leaving the polishing cloth at home, because you won't be using the polishing cloth that much. You'll be swabbing this out every time you play though. So you can also do this as well. But again, if you only want to bring one of them, bring the cleaning cloth, not the polishing cloth. Some cases, like this, the softer cases, have pockets in the front, and you're welcome to put cleaning cloths in there because it won't touch the inside part of your flute.